Hello, everyone. That was really intense, but I'm in a good mood today. I'm surprisingly in a not surprisingly, that's not even the point, but more than usual, I'm in a very good mood. Perhaps I guess it is kind of surprising because I, maybe for the first time ever, I guess that's not totally true. I was going to say that I completely shut myself out from the outside world yesterday, and that's not entirely true because I did take about an hour or two to go through to watch stuff online while I was eating my dinner yesterday. But other than that, I was basically isolated, and it was fun. It's never been fun. I think when I was a younger kid and I'd get punished, I get like deamped, what my parents would call it. So like nothing electronic, and I was just miserable. I couldn't bear it. I truly couldn't bear it, and now it's so different. And I have to imagine, of course, it's because of this new life I'm seeing. I don't know. I feel like there was a point that I had when I originally started to talk about this, but I don't know. I'm getting caught up in it again. Just how fun this is. Um, but let's. I apologize. I had a whole plan, and then I started this, and then I completely lost my train of thought. I started with too much energy, and I can recognize that, but but I don't know. I do think in another way, like I do feel more just focus. I mean, clearly not because I'm doing this. I'm truly just rambling, but it's like I feel more purpose to do this. The last few days, I've felt like the first few days, it's very much been like trying to get the ball rolling, like actually building that momentum. I don't know if you ever like when I did wrestling in high school, I remember the first 2 weeks of that were always the worst. I've never felt more pain in my life because it's just all from never moving to then just being thrown on the ground over and over again. It's just horrible for those first 2 weeks. And then once you get into it, your body gets used to it. It's no longer painful. And it just gets easier. And that's kind of what's happening here. I haven't normally, I guess let's start there. The last few days, or basically the last week, since all of this new change happened, my big thing has been I don't want to give up, like, the real world, the society world, let's call it that. The world of society, of what they, all of like the TV shows I watched, all the podcasts I listened to, all of these things, they were very much just distractions, but also fun distractions. Like there's a lot of very funny like podcasts and stuff that I do kind of miss and I may go back to eventually, but at the same time I can't right now. Sorry, I dropped my pencil. And I'm kind of split. I was kind of split because on the one hand I really do miss that. And on the other hand, I know that it's important to get this to sink in, to get this all to like really stay with me. I need to cut that out. I can't just be eating you can't just eat healthy all day and then eat just like a giant slice of cake at the end of the night. That kind of just nullifies the whole thing. Same thing with my distractions and what I surround myself with in my life. And that was very much weighing on me for a while. Because I would try to like just listen to music or just listen to silence and just kind of just focus on it. And my mind just kept going back to, oh no, I'm doing this wrong. I'm not feeling the peace anymore. It's not coming. It's like I had it, now I lost it. And I just get so in my head. And I don't know, I think it's starting to click that it is always going to come back. I wrote down, I think I said this in my last video, that I need to just get through my head to stop assuming every moment is the final moment that you're going to have. Like when you're in a specific mental space, that's the only mental space you're going to be in. Because when I lose my passion for this, or when I lose I'm not really feeling the spirit, I'm not really feeling the oneness of everything, I will like get in my head and like, oh no, was that just a backslide? That was just like a short like boost. I just had a weird thing for a week and now I'm back. And it's like immediately, it's like I could be feeling it all day and then give it like 45 minutes. Like I'll eat my dinner, I'll watch something on YouTube, and that will like take me back into the world where I'm starting to like think about things that don't really matter, and then that just gets me subconsciously thinking about things that matter, and then I have to really like struggle to get back in that groove. And like during that struggle, it's just like, oh no, it's over, it's never gonna work, it's always gonna be like this. And it was a lot more difficult these last few days with that, but it's starting to sink in that, hey, this is going to work. You have to make that choice, and eventually it's going to click. And for some reason, I think it's finally clicking. Maybe it's not totally there, but it is starting to sink in. Today, I haven't listened to any podcasts today. I haven't really been on my phone at all, other than to just put on music and things like that. It's really working, and I it's surprising to me. Surprising to, how should I say that? Because it isn't, and it is. It's like, I guess inside I knew that I knew to trust the process. There's been so many weird coincidences happening. Like I knew that this is right. I knew that like this will happen, but then you still have your anxiety mind, man, and you're just like, it's hard to turn that off. And it's always been incredibly difficult for me to turn that off. And now it's actually starting to like sink in, and it almost feels like it might be permanent. And I'm saying almost, and I shouldn't be saying that. Almost feels like it's going to be permanent. That's my focus. My focus needs to be what I want to happen, and it will happen because it has to. It has to. I feel it. So many things have happened. Like yesterday, I rearranged some rooms, and this is a bit of a tangent, but it makes sense, kind of. So I was rearranging rooms, taking like dressers from one room to another just to make more space in one room. And I had these, measuring tapes. I had measuring tape because I wanted to like measure it out. I was like, blah, 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 trying to get it so I'm not just like moving something into one room and only to find out that no, it's not going to fit. And then I have to move everything back because it's not easy to move like 200, 300 pound dressers. And so I was doing that. And then I don't know what happened. I was measuring one. I put it down somewhere. It wasn't like the rooms aren't that full. It's not like it got lost and cluttered, but it just disappeared. Still don't know where it is. Got a backup one. Started doing that one, put it down. Couldn't find it. Again, just completely disappeared. No idea where it is. Still, there's two missing that went missing in the span of like 20 minutes. And then as I was doing it, I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? This is like, I was trying to like do the thing where you like hold a thing and then you just try to walk and hope that your hands are the same distance, which never really works. And then in my head, I just heard this voice saying, it's going to work. Just do it. It will work. I did it. I swear on my life. I reorganized it perfectly because these were different size dressers too. Like one was like maybe that wide, other one was like that wide, and I rearranged it to different sides of the room. I swear you could maybe fit a piece of paper in between the dresser, the piano I moved, and the other desk that I moved. It was truly exactly perfect. And it was just like in my head, it was like, no, you don't need to measure, just do it. It's going to work. And it did. It's so cool having these like reassuring moments. I don't know. It's really, 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 really reassuring to have things like that. Can you tell I'm more passionate about this now? I also, this also now feels more like a journal than it does like a YouTube channel, which is great because I do think that that's kind of the inauthenticity comes through when I think I'm performing. A lot more now, I am basically making this for myself. Like this is just as much for you watching this as it is a public record that I'm keeping for myself. Like I told you before, if you've seen my other video, I said that like, this is what I do on my phone all the time. I will make these, like audio recordings, or it'll usually be like at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and it's like, just like going, mumbling to myself, just like thoughts that I'm thinking of. Literally in my folder, it's called Things I Think About. And I think my first few videos, I was doing a heightened impersonation of that. I mean, I still am, obviously, because it wouldn't be very fun to watch, even for myself to watch back if I was just talking like this the entire time, and it really wouldn't do anything for anything. But before, I was almost like overly... I was trying. I was really trying to project a person, and now I'm really just talking the way I would talk to myself, which is crazy cool. And I think a lot of that has to do with me kind of being isolated. I'm not like being surrounded by other influences right now. I'm not like watching TV or listening to like podcasts and things I'm doing and like trying to emulate a person, emulate a character, because that's what I've always done my entire life, is creating a character in my head, made up of like a bunch of weird stereotypes of like what I thought what a cool person would be. And it's very more fulfilling knowing that like me being myself is feeling like a cool person, because I never did before. It always was like I'm doing a good impression of a cool person, except I usually never was. But now I'm being myself and I feel like a normal person. Like a normal, cool person. Maybe you don't think so. Maybe you think I'm crazy, and I probably am, and that's kind of cool too. I think that's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I am really amped up. But yeah, I love more on the staying isolated thing. And yesterday specifically, it was very much, I don't think I've ever had a day where it was, the end of the day was not like I had the, how would you call it? Like the dessert of the day, like the mental dessert of the day. I would like work hard most days. I'd be like, go to work, like eat dinner, like hang out with friends. And then once I got home, it would just be like, watch TV, watch YouTube the entire night until I go to bed, and it's like, just shut my brain off and just completely, more or less not exist inside. And I didn't yesterday. Yesterday, I rearranged that room, and then I read Soulcraft, a book that I heard another person I look up to on YouTube was reading it, so I decided to buy it, and I'm reading it as well, and it's so fulfilling. And this might be the stupidest, lamest thing, because I'm not usually a big reader, but it's like I've never really enjoyed reading before, or like if I did, I wouldn't say I was enjoying reading. I would say I was not disliking the act of reading. Like, it's like, oh, this isn't bad for having to read. Like, I'm not like actively like, oh, when is this over? And now I'm watching, I was reading yesterday, and I was like, oh, like I was stopping like almost every other paragraph, because I was like, oh, and then I like was writing down these notes, because it was like, oh, every other paragraph, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about this. This makes me think about this. This makes me want to share stuff like this. And it's serendipitous, because as I'm reading it, it's almost like this is what I should have been doing in Soulcraft. In the beginning, I'm not very far in. I'm hardly even like maybe a fifth into it at most. So I'm sure I'll be talking about it more. But one of the things, a very general idea of it, is basically trying to find your soul and spirit together, cultivating it both. I'm explaining it horribly. I don't have the book with me, but if you read the synopsis, you can Google it. Soulcraft. Plotkin is the last name. I don't think I remember the first name. Plotkin, Soulcraft. You can read it. I'm enjoying it immensely. You would too if you enjoy this, probably. Or if you relate to any of this and you've never heard of it, or if you want to try to like figure it out. But yeah, I'm reading it. And one of the main things of this is like, if you want to go on this journey of developing this greater sense of self and connection to spirit and to the world and to the universe and to everything, like you need you need to record it, because just saying it out loud reinforces it. I didn't read that until last night, and I was doing it already. A lot of what I'm noticing is I'm just naturally drawn to do the things it's telling me to do without them telling me to do it. It's really, really cool. to see that this has happened, to just know that I'm on the right path. And maybe another thought I thought was maybe it's written in a way so you are supposed to think that, like, these are all natural things that are supposed to come to you, and they're also in the book writing that down just in case this didn't come to you, or to reinforce, yes, you're on the right path. But again, who cares? Even if that is, like, even if it's a mental trick, the mental trick is working. I'm kidding. The mental trick is working. I'm feeling it so much. You've seen my other videos, or maybe you haven't. Maybe this is your first video. Hello, my name's Tom. I don't think I've actually said that in any of the videos, but hi, I'm Tom, or Thomas. I actually call myself Thomas. Most people call me Tom. Could not care less. But yeah, it's so it's so fun. It's so freeing. It's so great. Let me see. I went a lot longer on that than I thought I would. So let me see if there's anything small here that I was thinking last night that might be something quick to go through. Oh, as I reflect on things, and I'll end with this, I guess. I was reflecting on things yesterday, and in that book, Soulcraft, there's a point in which sorry. Yes, so in that book, there's a point where he's like, the author is saying that you're supposed to, if you have anxieties about this next step, about like actually severing a lot of your past connections, like with me, with all of like the podcasts and YouTubes I watch it and all that. Like if you were like, I don't really want to give that up, just take the time, really go into yourself and like create a actual like visual memory of like talking to yourself, asking why you don't want to do that. Like, what is the anxiety there? And then try to figure out how to, like, you try to figure out alternative solutions. Because, yeah, your anxiety is always going to tell you the worst option, but you also, it's not usually second nature for most people to also hear an anxiety and say, well, maybe that's going to happen, but also this could happen. And as I was doing that, going through all that, I continued to read, and it was like, if you don't know how to do this, ask a friend or something. And I thought like, oh, wow, that's crazy that people don't know how to do that. Like, don't know how to like reflect on things like that. And I immediately caught myself. I was like, don't say that. Like, don't say that. Don't be rude. Like, you shouldn't be thinking yourself as better than someone just because you have the ability to like reflect more deeply than others. And then I reflected on that, and I was like, that's not what I was doing. I wasn't saying that. I was genuinely saying, oh, I've never considered the fact that people don't have the depth to me. Or I probably knew it subconsciously, but it never like was a verbalized fact of being like, oh, some people don't actually have never had that access of thinking that deeply about things. And I was just remarking, wow, that's cool. And my brain just immediately jumped on it. Like I was like calling myself out. I was calling myself out for something. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And it's like, it's weird because like sometimes you'll see it, like someone says something and it's like, oh, I was making a joke out of context. I didn't really mean it that bad. And like, sometimes that's true. And like, the issue is sometimes you don't know whether or not that's true. Like sometimes someone just gets caught saying something bad and they're like, oh no, I just meant it as a joke. But like, I actually know I wasn't meaning it harmfully. And I still called myself out on it. That was a very, very illuminating thing to me. Just to remember to listen to your own self-criticism, because a lot of times it might not be true. Like what you think you're doing wrong might not be actually wrong. Like go through what when you do something you're like, oh, I shouldn't be doing that, blah, blah, blah. Like really explain to yourself what you did wrong and then try to apologize for it and like how you can do better next time, because maybe you didn't actually do anything wrong and there's nothing to apologize for. That almost sounds like I'm saying excuse your bad behavior. That's not what I'm saying. I hope that came through. But yeah, I'm really, really I'm excited. I don't know. I'm getting overwhelmed again. But yeah, oh, this is 20 minutes. Okay, that's a good length of this. All right. Love you guys. Just totally zoned out at the end. Love you guys. Peace. Be happy, be good.